Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Everyday Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Paul Howard Flowers Jr., and this is the Potpourri Place Podcast Show. Today, I'm amazingly excited, and you'll learn why in just a moment. But of course, when it comes to hosting, as a host, when you bring on a guest, when you've got things in common and you just click, it's like magic happens. Not only did this gentleman and I share the same name, his name is Paul Tembunde, and
That's
he
right.
is the CEO of Premier Destiny Incorporated,
Yes.
also operates the Visiting Angels franchise with his wife as a COO. I am super excited to bring on somebody from the great state of, as my friends and I used to call it, money making Maryland, right? Paul, again, my namesake, my brother, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
Fantastic, brother Paul. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, an honor. Thank you for inviting me to your wonderful show, and I look forward to sharing with you my story, my journey, and some insights with you and the audience. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Paul. Thank you.
And listen, you're more than welcome, and we don't have to wait. And I know the audience is ready to hear this one, and we just get to hop right in. So, Paul, tell us about where you are and talk about that journey of, again, bringing Premier Destiny to fruition, as well as where Visiting Angels came from. We've got a lot to talk about. So, you
Yes, we
pick where
do.
you want to start, but let us know, again, where you at and definitely where you've been so we can just grow the conversation from there.
Thank you, Paul. Again, it's an honor, Paul. Thank you so much. I'm delighted, glad to be on your show. Yours is I think the third one I've been on, brother, doing this, and I'm proud of
Absolutely.
you. Proud of you for
Thank you.
doing this,
Thank you.
because you give us a stage, if you will, platform, if you will, to share our message. Which I think is a message that not just belongs to us, but I think us especially, but to humanity. Because when you make the world better, for your people, you make
Hmm.
it better for everyone, right? I mean, we all get to breathe the same air, right? We all get to travel the same, journeys and whatnot. So
Right.
that's why I love this. So thank you again for this, for inviting me over, Paul.
Certainly.
Paul, where I've been, where I'm at, and where I'm going. That's a fantastic question, by the way. And if you have not trademarked that, I would say trademark that, brother, because I like that. I like that. Uh, Paul, I came here many years ago. I came to the United States seeking to better my future. My wife Joan and I, high school sweethearts. And when I left my home country of Cameroon to come to the United States, she went to England to pursue college studies. And so I came here, and after graduating college, I decided to get into the entrepreneur route. So I got into join Amway years ago, if you know what Amway is.
Love it. Yes,
And
sir.
yeah, selling soap. Well, that's what it was known back then, selling soap. I thought, man, I said, because that's all this we're getting rich, right? I mean, getting, making money, doing real well. That's why I
Hmm.
want to try that. So my cousin invited me. I signed up, got my kid. My kid was, I think it was slightly under $100 at that time. And I went to work. I thought I was going to make it big, but I didn't make much money. In fact, I don't think, I think the products I bought were mostly for my own use, right? And I gave some away too. So I didn't really make
Absolutely.
much money. But I learned something, Paul. I learned personal development.
Come on.
I was introduced to books. I was introduced to inspirational books. They told me that if I wanted it, I could make it if I was willing to work for it. Okay? I started meeting people who had made it, man. I learned some things, started reading books. Think and Grow Rich was an important book they talked about. So I bought Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, started reading that.
Hmm.
And fast forward a few years, my wife came and joined me from England. She had just finished her master's, so she came to join me. And man, we couldn't find any job, man. No corporate jobs were open to us. I was still doing my security guard job. I was doing when I was going to college,
Hmm.
and then I moved up to leasing consultant for apartment buildings, so I could lease apartments and whatnot. I did that. And my wife was at one point she was a cashier. Okay, think about a cashier with a master's degree, right? And
Man,
then she became a
come on.
certified nursing assistant, working with seniors, right? And so we just kept moving, man. I mean, it was hard, man. Times were hard. I mean, I remember one time we had a one-bedroom apartment, and to pay our rent, I had to wait for my check and my wife's check to add to pay the rent. One-bedroom apartment. Okay, it was hard,
Yeah.
but we're persistent. We just felt that we God put us on the earth to do bigger things. That's what we thought. We believed that. And, like I said, we shopped at the poor side of town, no money, right? And the clothes we wore were kind of, cheaper clothes. I mean, it was hard. It was hard,
Right.
but we're persistent. A few years later, we got into IT.
Okay.
We got some IT training, and it was interesting because I had never had a computer, man. No computer. But I was
Okay.
in IT. Okay. So I learned, got in there, and my wife became a database administrator, and I became a Microsoft systems engineer, working on computers. And boy, I tell you, I tell you, we thought when we got those positions, we thought we had arrived, okay? Because I could finally, when I got paid, my check could pay the rent, you know? So it was a big deal for us.
Right.
So we decided to buy a townhouse. We invested in a home, but trying to get part of the American
American
middle class at
dream,
that
right?
point. Yes, sir. So we got our home, and we started trying to have a family. So it was a very exciting. We saw the possibilities again. We saw what it could do. We saw that if we worked hard, we could make it happen. But Paul, we were limited because remember working with somebody. Okay,
Hmm.
I mean it's not wrong to work for somebody. We all got to. It's a journey, right? I mean we all have to
Exactly.
work with somebody. So, but we got to a point where it was like it was a lot of month left at the end of the money.
Hmm.
So bottom line is we're not making enough. We had these two good jobs, right? We were raising our family. And we said, well, we're going to get our kids to the best schools. We're going to go on vacation, do the things we want to do, and support our family members from overseas. This money is not going to add. It was not going to be enough, right? So we started thinking here, being people of faith, John and I went to God and prayed about it and meditated and thought, what could we really do? And I said, well, this is America. This is America. This is the beacon of capitalism.
Hmm.
This is where it's at. You can't be part of the system without owning some of the system, right? You have to participate. You have to show. You don't just show up. You have to be a part of it.
Right.
So we decided, well, listen, we need to get into business. We need to go into business. That's what we need to do. So we start looking around again, being people of faith. We put in the Lord, and it was interesting that Joan had to work. Remember, I told you she had to work as a certified nursing assistant, taking
Right.
care of seniors. So she said, "Well, honey, I think this home care business thing, taking care of seniors, might be the way to go." I had no experience owning a business, Paul. Jonah had no experience. I mean, I had Amway, it was a networking thing. So to
Right.
me, it wasn't really a real business, right? And I didn't had not invested as much money. So to me, it was not a business in that sense. So we decided, so well, let's so we did some research and we decided to sign up with this franchisor. It's a nationwide franchisor. We decided to purchase our own agency, is what we decided to do. Now we
Hmm.
had no money. We had a credit card. Remember, we're making more money at this point, but we had family and all those. So it wasn't enough money around.
Money in,
So
money out.
exactly. So we decided to then purchase. We decided to use our credit card. We had a credit card. This was interesting. We had one credit card, and I think we had about $13,000. It was the max on that credit card. So we decided to get a cash advance, about 12,000 and some change, to invest in this home care agency. That's what we did,
Mm.
and with no business experience. But the franchisor told us they were going to train us how to operate and all of that. So that's how we got it. Paul, I'll tell you, it was interesting because once we got it, a few months later, I lost my job as an IT
Huh.
assistant engineer. I lost my job. And my dad too just passed too. He passed, a couple months later. But we felt that this was a calling from God. We were finally got our own business. Let's give it a shot. I got to tell you, I did not believe in this business. I got to tell you right now, Paul, I did not. My wife did. She's like, Paul, I think we can make this work. So, okay, honey. All right. So I started, because I had no job, right? I went to work. My wife kept her job, but I was everything. I'm talking about I was the office manager, the HR manager, the
Absolutely.
accounts payable person, the bookkeeper, I mean, everything we did, so we just went to work. We started the business, matter of fact, from the basement of our townhouse because we couldn't afford an office. We had no
Right.
money. And then we just started from there and grew it and grew it and grew it. End of the year, I saw the tax returns. I told my wife, I said, wait a minute. You think so? You said so this thing could make this kind of money? My wife was like, I told you so.
Hmm.
And then on Paul, we just took off. We just poured our heart and soul into it. went to work. Next year, my wife quit a job, and we became full-time business owners. And we just ran it and just kept growing it and growing it. From there, we bought a second franchise, a third franchise, a fourth franchise. We're in our fourth now. And I told my wife, so no, we can't do this anymore. We can't be buying anymore. Let's stop that because it's taking so much time and effort for us to manage it. I
Hmm.
mean, people to do that. Well, I said, no, let's stop at four and kind of grow this and serve people. So that's what we do at this home care company and agency we have. We own a bunch of under one umbrella. So we always right now I think we have about north 3 to 400 plus folks working for us or working with us.
Amazing.
Yeah, team, we call them team members. I mean, they're not really they're not our employees. We call them the team members, part of the
Right.
team. Yeah, and then we've served thousands of clients over the years. We've been in business 22, 23 years plus right now, Paul, is what we've been doing. And it's been a labor of love, man. I think that the biggest thing you can do is serve, okay? When you serve, you help other folks be better. I think you're a better person. I mean, and I think that's what you do here. So that's what we do. We just love it, and we've just been just pouring our hearts into serving people, just being folks that can't help their own, the seniors, like I said, some of them don't have family members around them, Paul. We
Hmm.
are their family, right? I mean, some of these folks, I mean, and I'll tell you some of the stories down the road, but it's just it's so fulfilling when you're doing something that is about caring and serving people and you're getting paid for it. So we've fallen in love with it. It was a business that, like I said, initially I didn't know it was going to work out, but then when I
Absolutely.
saw what it was happening, I just thank God for it every day, because it's giving us a chance to care for other people in
Hmm.
a time of need. So that's where we've been, and that's where we're going. So where are we today? Paul, we'll continue to grow our home care business. I'll continue to serve people.
Hmm.
And then a few years ago, after I would have been in business about 10, 12 years thereabouts, I felt a calling again on my life. I felt
Yes.
like God was telling me to do something more. Now, I was appreciative, and I still am appreciative of what we've done in the home care space, and I thank God for it. But God just put in my heart that there was something I could do. I became restless. And so, being a person of faith again, I went to God. I said, God, I don't know what you want me to do. I mean, I thank you what you've given me, me and my wife, but I don't know. I feel bored. I feel tired. I feel not in love with this, what we're doing. I still want to do what we're doing, but I just feel like there's something. I mean, I want to do more. Please lead me. And when you ask God, He does respond. You got to be willing to listen, though, right? And
Hmm.
follow.
Absolutely.
And so one day I was walking, going out in the mornings. I usually go out for walks. So I was walking and I was listening to something on YouTube. And this gentleman came on. And this gentleman came on from Canada, one of my mentors. He became my mentor. And he said that a lot of us don't succeed in life because we don't know where we're going.
Hmm.
We don't have a goal. We don't know. We don't know. He says we're ignorant. So wait a minute, ignorant. He said, yeah, ignorance is not a bad thing. It just means you don't know.
Right.
Everybody's ignorant of something.
Exactly.
I said, okay, okay. He said, no, ignorance is not a bad thing. It just means you don't know. What drives ignorance away? Knowledge.
Hmm.
Wow, Paul. I was like, okay, okay, that's my man right there. And then he went on to say that it's like darkness. When you have darkness, what drives the darkness? Light does.
That's it.
Okay. So, Paul, long story short, I signed up for his course, his year-long coaching program, and I was hooked. He told me that I could be anything I wanted to be. I was willing to work for it. That most of the work was internal. It was on me.
Yes.
Okay. That I had to be more so I can do more so I can have more in my life. That changed the whole story for me, Paul. In fact, this gentleman became my second father. Okay. I mean, because my first mentor in my life is my dad. He's of late now.
Absolutely.
But this gentleman
Condolences.
became my second because he made such a difference in my life. He expanded my mind. And I realized I could be anything I wanted to be if I was willing to work on me. Because it was the way I showed up in life determined everything that happened to me. Paul,
That's it.
listen, when I give my talk, sometimes I talk about determining factors and contributing factors.
Mhm.
You have contributing factors are things like, where you were born, the weather, the economy, and whether you get to give you a job or not, whether Paul invites me to the podcast or not, whatever. Those are contributing factors. Determining factors, Paul, are your integrity,
Mm.
what you want, the fact that you show up, okay,
Okay.
your character, okay, your desire to make things happen, your desire to take responsibility. Those are determined because those determine how far you're going to go. They're not defined. I mean, determining factors are the final story. Contributing factors are not, because you could choose to ignore them and go around them, go under them, and go through them.
Mm. Come on.
So Paul, so that's what happened. So this gentleman just changed my life, Paul. He changed my life, and I took his course after his program, his coaching program, which lasted a year. Matter of fact, when I took it, Paul, my wife did not know. I signed up for his program, Paul, unbeknownst to my wife.
Hmm.
But she started to see the change in me.
Okay.
Yeah, the transformation began on me. All right. I was talking to her differently. I was showing up differently for certain things. I was responding differently. And this gentleman told me something, Paul. He taught me that there's a big difference between responding and reacting.
100%.
He said that when you react, you give your power away.
Come
When
on.
you respond, you keep your power, your control. That's okay. So that's the kind of language I wanted, Paul, because it just helped me change who I could be internally. Remember the work I talked about, the internal work we have to do, the be, do, have.
Absolutely.
Coming, so I could do more, so I could have more. And
Oh,
so essentially, Paul, after this program, in fact, my wife joined me, in the course of this program too. My wife did join. And
okay.
she was like, okay, this sounds good. This is something I like this. Because, hey, I told you, she got a master's degree in international finance. She's not dumb,
Mm-hmm.
right? So she knows what she's doing. So she joined me, liked it. And eventually, we got into another program. And then she was able to write her book, it's on Amazon, Paul. It is an international bestseller.
Bring it up. Bring it all the way close to the camera,
Oh,
just so that the blur
sorry.
doesn't.
Is it
Okay.
good?
Is
Is
that
that good,
money
Paul?
locates you?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
It is on Amazon, Paul. It's on Amazon. Matter of fact, Paul, this is what I'm gonna do for you, your listeners. I will give you a free e-version of the book for you and your audience.
Oh,
Okay, so
amazing.
they can
Amazing.
download it.
Thank you.
So I'll get you that. But anyways, Paul, so she was able to write that book. It was because of what we had become. Hence, we could do this. So there's, and then so we decided, so eventually decided to start our own coaching company, helping other people just like us. Because we
Mm-hmm.
figure, hey, if we had this void in us, this ignorance, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
right, that this gentleman helped me to get rid of because of knowledge. How many of us need this kind of guidance out there?
Period.
That's
That's
why
it.
we launched a coaching program called Premier. It's a company called Premier Destiny LLC. Okay, and it's easy to get to us. Is just go askjohnandpaul.com. You can get to us. But I'll give you all that information, Paul. You'll be able to put in the show notes.
Okay.
So that's what So we went there. We started there. We've been working with other folks. We've worked with some folks that are in the home care space, some folks that just want to just business owners, and just some visionaries out there, folks out there that want to just be more. They want to bring out the best versions of who they are. We serve them too. Because I think, we believe in a couple of things, Paul, at Premier Destiny. We believe that there's greatness in each and every one of us. And our mission is to enlighten people, empower them, and inspire them to bring out the greatness that we know resides in each and every one of us, so that they can lead and live a life of abundance and fulfillment. Because that's what we're called to do. We all have the
Yes.
greatness in us. If you don't know you have it, I always say this, Paul. It's almost like it's almost like the president. I mean, it could be this one or the one before
Mm-hmm.
invited you to a state dinner, but you never got the invitation. Well, they invited you, but if you don't know you invited, you ain't gonna show up,
Absolutely. Exactly.
right? I mean, and then think about a connection you could have made if you were there. Think about it, exposure. But that's what I'm talking about. We have so much in us, that, and oftentimes we don't know. I mean, like I said, my wife and I were ignorant of that until this gentleman was able to guide us to bring it out. We were ignorant. We did not know. We did not know. But then when you find somebody that can say, hey, you're great, you can be great. The potential is in you, which the potential is in every one of us. How do you bring it out though?
Mm.
And so, Paul, that's where we went, and we grew our business, our home care business, to over 8 figures. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, over 8 figures is what we're doing. And but our goal, our mission, we believe, is to serve, and we think that we believe that with the coaching business we've started, that just takes that service to another level. It gets us to talk to folks like yourself, Paul, and really beautiful people like you, fine people like you that also open doors for other people and just serve people. Because, at the end of the day, Paul, I don't want to die with my music in me.
Come on.
Okay? I don't want to do that. I want to be able
Love
to
it.
put it out there, sir. I want to put it out there, Paul. Because I think that is in the service of others that you discover the joy that's in you. And we all have that. We all have that, Paul. I could not sing as well as Barry White. That's his gift. But what is my gift? What do I bring to the world? I think we all have it. Let's support each other so we can bring that greatness out, because at the end of the day, it's what you do for others that count. Because I think in doing that, you discover your happiness. And I think happiness is what we all want at the end of the day.
Oh man, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled.
Thank you, Paul.
Paul, we are definitely two peas in the proverbial pod.
Thank
As
you.
you share your story, I realize even more similarities. I
Thank you,
didn't
Paul.
realize that you'd gotten your start in Amway, the direct
Oh,
sales
I didn't.
space. And oftentimes people are turned away from direct
Yes.
sales, network marketing, because
Yes.
of the whole pyramid thoughts and not realizing that, hey, you're in a pyramid, whether you
Yes.
know it or not. You're either at
Amen.
the bottom
100%.
serving someone else's or
Yes.
you're at the top. So let's talk about that. You transitioned from that entrepreneurship. Well, you transitioned directly into entrepreneurship, if I heard that
Yes.
correctly. So yes, you worked in
Yes.
security, but you'd come right out of school and you went right into entrepreneurship. Like, weren't there some hesitations? Like, didn't you think that a secure job should have been the first step? Or, what really was the driving force to go the entrepreneur route right away?
Thank you, Paul. Great question, by the way. Great question. Paul, it was a bunch of things. I felt that I was in a country in America where I could do whatever I wanted to do. Okay. I was hungry, brother. I was hungry. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. I was sick. Man, let me tell you what happened. One time, Paul, I was being a security guard, remember, when I was going to college? And the local NFL team, the Washington Redskins, it used to be the Redskins back then,
Hmm.
they won the Super Bowl. Okay, this was in the early 90s, Paul. And this gentleman came in, because I was working on the weekends. He came in and said, and I was excited, man. I said, man, do you know the Redskins have won the Super Bowl? I was all excited, all jacked up. He looked at me and he said, Paul, this is untrue. He said, well, Paul, do you own some Redskins stock?
Mm.
I said, excuse me? He said, do you own some Redskins? Do you stand to win or lose? Do you stand to make some money off of this if they win or lose? I mean, you got some skin in the game?
Mm.
Why are you all excited? It's okay. Oh, okay, I get it now. Oh, okay. Somebody making the money, but I'm excited. So you see, what am I saying, Paul? See, these were all nuggets, if you will, that God, I believe,
Absolutely.
was sprinkling on my path, okay, that do more. I mean, this is not, you got to be part of it, and so to answer your question, Paul, like I said, it was a bunch of things. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. I wanted more for my life. I knew that I was called to do more than a security guard or a leasing consultant, okay? I
Hmm.
mean, or engineer, computer person. I wanted to do more. Matter of fact, I mean, I used to work, I was a dedicated employee, like a lot
Right.
of us are, okay? I should have
Absolutely.
worked on time, did my work, even stayed over, worked overtime. But I've realized I was making less than a quarter of what my employer was charging. And I don't fault my employee that I'm grateful.
Right.
I'm
That's the
grateful I
model.
got a job. Okay, I'm grateful I had a job. But I'm just saying that I was like, wait a minute, why don't I try to get 50%? Well, you can be a partner to get 50%. If so I wanted more for my family. I wanted more for me. I wanted more control of my own time. I wanted a situation where if I wanted to take some time off, I wouldn't ask the boss for the time.
Exactly.
Okay. And matter of fact, Paul, to be honest with you, because I was getting such a low pay, I did not take any time off. In fact, they paid me from a vacation to keep on working.
Hmm.
Okay. I didn't take much time off at all. Okay. So, hey, especially on holidays, I worked extra because you got overtime for that
Right.
time holidays,
Double
right?
time.
So
That
that's what I
time.
did. Double time. That's
Absolutely.
right. Hey, I did, and I worked. I didn't have, but I realized that that was not the way it was going to be forever. I wanted more. Okay. I was in a country where you could have more. I saw other folks on TV having more. And that's, well, if they can have more, what about me? But
Come
I
on.
needed someone to help me bring that out. Now we had failures. Okay? Like I say, like I just told you, everything did not work for us, but I learned some lessons. Okay. To me, challenges or failures, you want to call it that, failures to me, I call them challenges. It
Love it.
just sounds better, right? I call them challenges, I don't call them failures. To me, I look at them as toll gate, the toll you pay on your way. I look at challenges and failures as feedback. What did I learn from this situation? How am I going to do better? You see, Paul, it's all about our philosophy, how we look at life, right? I mean, hey, getting out of bed is a challenge. Think about it, Paul. I mean, getting across the street is a challenge,
It is. It
right? I mean,
absolutely is.
you're gonna get on a plane to a wedding, in a couple of days, right? I mean, I think
Yep.
tomorrow, whatever that's a challenge, right? I mean, but should that stop you? No,
Not at all.
it shouldn't. How do we get around it? This ways. I mean, and I believe this, Paul. If others can do it, so can I.
100%. 100%.
We got to figure how. So our philosophy is going to be one of growth, one of aspiration, one of getting over things, overcoming. Because it is, like I said, if Paul can do it, if Paul H can do it, Paul T can do it, everybody else can do it. But we need to buy into that though, because you see, I believe in one thing. A premier destiny, what we believe in is that you're one decision away, one.
Mm,
And
man,
Paul, and if not now, when? If not you, who? You gotta bet on yourself, Paul. You gotta bet. Ain't nobody gonna do it for you.
this is true.
Nobody's gonna do it for you. You gotta do it. I mean, give it a shot.
That's true. That
The worst that's gonna happen is that if it don't work, guess what? You didn't learn lessons. Think about it, Paul. How many experiments did Thomas Edison conduct to come up with the electric about
was it
10,000?
10,000
There
plus,
you go.
right?
There you go. There you go. You see what I'm saying? I mean, do we remember him for the failures, or do we remember from the success?
Definitely for the success.
Hello, hello. So that's my message to your audience and to us, Paul. We have to fail forward, right? The guy, that's the only way you're gonna make. I mean, like I said, listen, hey, you and I mean, we know this. I mean, and this is we should tell everyone else. Anybody coming to save us?
Not at all.
It's gonna be us. So I believe strongly that if it's got to be, it's up to me. That's what I learned from Amway. If it's got to be, it's up to me.
I
And I
love it.
think that we're blessed with the health, wealth, knowledge, the people around you, Paul, what you do, the media, the platform you provide us, other folks who have done it, Oprah them and all those other people who've done it. If they can do it, how about us? We're gonna start
Hmm.
somewhere. We're gonna start somewhere. But the biggest thing that stops a lot of people, I believe, is the mindset, which I look at it as your mindset can either be your beacon or your burden. How are we using it? It goes to our
Spot on.
philosophy. It goes to our philosophy again. How do we look at life? I mean,
Mm,
if other folks can do it, why not us? Why not you?
man,
The biggest investment, Paul, is in us. We have to learn to invest in ourselves because that's where you get the most return. Because as you know, like my mentor told me years ago, he said, "Do you know that the most important part of you can't see, can't touch?"
hmm, you're absolutely right about that one. And that definitely brings up a really interesting thought. We have so much in terms of opportunity that is here for us.
Yes.
And we'll just talk specifically in the country of America, North America, and
Yes.
United States
100%.
specifically.
100%.
There are so many people that get stuck
Yes.
and they want to take that next step,
Yes.
but for whatever reason, something stops them. You
Yes.
mentioned mindset. So if you would, let's talk about how a person that is maybe that has a desire, right, but has a little bit of trouble getting started. again, you coach executives, you're in this space of transformational leadership and growth. How would you suggest that a listener that's out there that might just be on the cusp of greatness, and greatness for them might just be getting started? So for that
Yes.
person that's on the cusp of greatness, how would you guide and direct them in taking those first steps?
Fantastic question, Paul. As usual, fantastic question. Paul, I think that as the former coach of the Miami Dolphins used to say, it's a start that stops most people. It's a
Hmm.
start that stops most people. I think that you've prayed. I'm a person of faith. I'm sure you are too, Paul.
Yes, sir.
And what I think is that when you've prayed, you've meditated, and God has led you to a passion of yours, something you want to do, there are a lot of resources out there. The first book I recommend someone reads, somebody like that, is try to just get Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I have copies here in my home office. Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're right. You got it. That's right. That's right. That's right. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon. Read that book. Start watching YouTube messages. Paul's messages his podcast is inspirational. Listen to what Paul has to say. You're gonna get guidance over there. Get on YouTube, man. Look at the inspiration. You get so much knowledge in there that you're not gonna believe it. Start trying to set some goals. What do you want to do? Get into habits. You see, success leaves trails. Okay, you can
Hmm.
tell. So you want to have some habits that help you move the needle.
Hmm.
You want to have a regular time for reading. I'd spend at least an hour a day reading, just improving your mind. Because once you grow your mind, they say when you stretch your mind, it can never go back to where it was before,
Right.
right? You want to grow your mind. I would get into, like I talk about, regular reading program. I would spend time every morning just in meditation, asking God, what do you want from me? How can you guide me? Because the answers are all within, Paul. Oftentimes we're not asking, oftentimes we're not listening, or it may not be what we want to hear.
Hmm.
But I believe that is not in our timing, and it is in His timing. But we have to keep showing up to receive that. So reading is important. Get around the right people. Okay, you may not physically be able to be there, but you can sign up for Paul's podcast. You can listen to Paul's podcast and listen and get some inspiration that way. You don't have to. We have all these things available to us. Read, like I said, I talked about the YouTube podcast. Get away from people that are negative, people that don't believe in you, people that are going to support you, people that will not inspire you. Get away
Hmm.
from them. I tell you, Paul, and that's a big one too. It could be somebody right in your family, matter of fact, right in your household,
Hmm.
right, Paul? We've all been there, right? And
That
and
that could be
so
inches away.
exactly. So I think the most important thing is, like I talked about before, determining factors and contributing factors. Okay. You want to limit those contributing factors as much as you can. And don't worry about it. Everybody's got a pass.
Hmm.
I mean, like they told us in Amway, do you know why the windshield is larger than the rear view mirror?
Hmm.
Because where you're going is more important than where
More
you've
important
been.
than where you've been. Come on. I love it. I love it. So you've had some great mentors in your life,
Yes.
and
Yes.
apparently it's taken those mentors, like you mentioned before, to help you grow, to help you expand your
Yes,
way of
Paul.
thinking. Now, you did take one of those courses without the knowledge of the misses, and
That's
apparently
right.
it worked
That's right.
so well. She could see
Thank
the
you.
differences in you. So let's talk
Yes.
about that, because I like to talk about all of what makes a person a person. Uh,
Yes.
Talk to us about how your high school sweetheart, right? How having that support system in the home
Yes.
has also led to you all's success.
Thank you, Paul. Again, I would say, again, I've known her for, I'd say 40 years.
Okay.
And my wife, my lovely wife, Joan. And, it's not all been, uh, you know, we've had challenges along the way, just like any marriage has been, right? I mean, we're two different people, right? And when you get together, there's some things that we don't see eye to eye on. But I got to say this, I'm blessed because on the important things of life, we do see eye to eye. And I think that's made all the difference in the world. She supports me. I support her 100%. We believe that both of us have values, that we have gifts, if you will, that we're allowed to shine on our lives. Okay. The things that she's great at, the things that I'm great at. I'm a great visionary. Okay. That's who I am. And she knows that. And so, she allows me that space. I think the most important thing, Paul, that has helped us is that we value each other, we respect each other, we honor each other's growth, each other's contribution to what we do. We we don't try to outshine one another. We don't try to shame one another, right? I mean, we try to lift up each other most of the time. Now, I'll be lying to you if I said it was 100%. No, but then the point is that because of the love, because of the respect we have for one another, we seek to highlight the goodness in each one of us because we're having. We have our challenging days too, so that's a big thing. But anyways, to your point, she's a person that's about success. She's about doing more. She's very entrepreneurial, very smart. I married up, Paul. I married up. I
There
can
we
tell you
go.
that. I married up.
Okay, that's
And
good advice.
yes, I did marry up, and I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for it. She does not boss me around. We're Christians. We're people of faith, so we believe that I'm the head of the household. I mean, hey, it ain't my calling; it's God's calling, right? I
There
mean,
it is.
right? I'm the head of the household, but I don't do things without consulting my wife.
Mm,
She's a very important part of what I do, a very important part of my journey, my success. And we've
okay.
been blessed with three wonderful kids that have learned these lessons, because we believe that once the home front is taken care of, then you can face whatever challenges out there. But the home front is not taken care of. Boy, you walking out of there, man. You confuse anything that you could have taken care of is liable to destroy your day. So we try to from the get go from the home. We try to just make sure that we're on the same side. We're on the same team, if you will, right?
Right.
And then so we can then be able to face the rest of the world out there. And it's always for good. She's a person of faith I talked about before. She believes in the goodness of all of us. She believes in helping folks bring out the best in themselves, and that's what we do. We walk our talk. Paul, is what we do here. And like I showed you her book. I don't have mine out yet, but it will be. I mean,
Right.
like I said, I'll start with it. It will be out there. But I support her. I promote her because, I mean, I often say that with us, it's like a pants with two pockets, right? I mean, hey, if you put it in the right pocket or left pocket, it's the same pair of pants in it. That's how I
Yes.
look at life. And so she has been a support. She pushes me to excel. I push her to excel. We have challenges. We may have misunderstandings, but at the end of the day, we try to just meet. We choose the best option that works for us. Which is about promoting us as a unit. Okay, I mean it's
Excellent.
like I said, we've been running the business. We're in a business together. She's a CEO of a home care company. I'm the CEO of a coaching company, but work together because we've realized that I mean it's possible. If you have your mind set right and you want to do it, because everything comes from desire, Paul. I think
Yes.
everything comes from desire, man. I mean nothing's impossible to them that believe it. Okay, nothing is. If we believe it, we can make it happen. But if it's about ego, getting all the credit, that's kind of where the challenge comes in. But I highlight her for her greatness, and she highlights me for my greatness, and that's how we do it.
Man, that compatibility is key. And on a
Yes.
side note, I will be launching another segment to this podcast called Author's Alley. So
Oh
for the
wow.
Author's Alley
Okay.
segment, I would love to have your wife on to
No, no
discuss the book
worries.
specifically. And for
Yes.
that, I'll make sure that I get the link. You'd mentioned sharing the ebook link so that we
Yes.
can all take a read. This way I'll be able to read
I
it
will.
and have some
Okay.
good notes and some intelligent questions to
All
ask
right.
her
Well,
about that process, about the journey, about all things within the book. And then, of course, again, give the readers the opportunity to capture that as well. So with that, with
and
that,
I was gonna add this, Paul. Thank you. I'll let her know. And Paul, I think you're gonna love this. I think you and your audience are gonna love this movie because it's very spirit. It's very God centered. Okay, it's about it's the word she felt, and she will tell you that when you're able to get on that she felt like it was inspiration from God coming out of her. She
mhm,
wrote this book in less than 6 months.
okay,
Okay. Which was, I mean, it was shorter than that, but it was just she was inspired to write it. So when I send it to you, you'll be able to, and then you see that, and you'll be able to talk to her and bring that up. But sorry, go ahead,
perfect.
Paul.
And you led me into the next question that I had, which you mentioned it several times, and it's kind of a given at this point. We all know this, of you just from your conversation and how it
Yes.
comes out in your character. But I'd love for you to
Yes.
speak directly to the audience in regards to how important faith has been and how you've had to lean on that faith in trials and tribulations, like those tough times as you were building both of the respective businesses.
Paul, it's been everything. It's been everything. My faith has been everything. I believe in the goodness of God. I believe that every challenge that He puts me through, or any one of us through, is to make us better. I'm a regular churchgoer. I don't just go to church, but I practice my faith.
Mm,
Okay. And so when I see things come up, we pray on a regular basis. We believe in His greatness, His goodness. We believe in that He's at His support and guide us. And even before this session with you, this interview with you, Paul, I prayed. And
mm,
I asked for divine guidance so that the words from my mouth in exchange we have should be impactful. Because, Paul, I believe that we should be about the business of building each other up and building society up, and that's His word. That's God's word, right? I mean, I think that once you get yourself out of the way, your ego out of the way,
mhm.
okay, I think the goodness of the message that you're trying to put out comes out because it's not about you anymore.
You know
It's not
what?
about you anymore. Go ahead,
Um,
Paul.
let's stay in that vein for a second. And just a couple quick questions because we're nearing the top of the hour, and I definitely want to extend this further. So I think we might go past my usual time.
Okay.
But again,
All
you've
right,
got
Paul.
so much
No,
value
no
that
worries.
you
No worries,
bring
Paul.
to the listeners that I'd
Thank
be
you, Paul.
remiss if I
Thank you.
didn't continue to pull a little bit more, right? So
Thank you,
that you can
Paul.
pour a little bit
Thank
more
you.
into these listeners. So
Thank
on
you,
the
Paul.
topic of faith, tell us about one of the unexpected moments that God used to actually shift the entire trajectory of your life.
Uh, I'll tell you, Paul, let me give you something that was very recent to us.
Okay.
COVID. Okay. I'll tell you, COVID almost knocked our home care business, you know, out.
Mm,
We're this close. Okay. As you know, with COVID, folks don't want you coming to the home, right? I mean, we're in that business of going to people's homes to take care of them. They did not want us to come there because they thought, because of what was out there, we could bring, illness to their homes. And perfectly right. That was the thinking out there. A lot of folks, couldn't go out, so they took care of they took care of their parents or whatever at their house, right? I mean, so we
mhm.
couldn't go out. We lost a lot of business. We almost shut down the business. Matter of fact, we had to let folks off for a period of time.
Okay.
We prayed about it, and then God opened up some doors for us financially.
Okay.
That helped us overcome this, because God knew the good work we were doing. That right there could have knocked out everything.
Right. Right.
And then secondly, Paul, I told you about the gift of getting into this coaching business. How I was guided. I don't think things just happen, like that. They don't. When I was going through my period where I was wondering what I could do, what God had in store for me, and I went to Him. I said, "Lord, lead me, show me the way," because I was not 100% up in our home care business at that time. I mean, I was showing up, but my mind was someplace else.
Okay.
And He led me to this gentleman that spoke some words into me that changed the trajectory of my life today. That's God. We had a contract. That we're working on for the county in my state, and the person that was in charge of that contract quit. Okay, she quit,
Okay.
and we could have lost that whole contract. This is a multi-million-dollar contract we have. God sent us somebody else. We
Okay.
prayed about it. So God, this is where we are. What are we gonna do? He sent us someone else that came. In fact, this lady was working for us, but we offered that position. No, when we talked about this, she saw what was happening, and she offered to take on this new position to save the contract. Paul, it's not about me. It's not about Joan. I mean, this is bigger than me and Joan. This is
Right.
God's calling. I mean, if I don't recognize that, I'm a fool. It's God. It's not me. It's not me, Paul. I mean, me being on your show today, Paul. I mean, you and I had to cancel the last time because you
Right.
were not feeling well, if you remember. But
Absolutely.
you extended, said, Paul, listen, come on again. We'd like to talk. That's God's calling. Me being on podcast, someone led me to do the podcasting. This is not something I'm not a Paul. Just so you know, I don't like the word introvert because it's kind of negative.
Mm,
But I'm a very private person, Paul. I'm very
understandable.
private. I don't like to get out there and talk about me. I don't like it. But God said, well, Paul, you need to do this because some folks need to hear your story. It might inspire somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
Somebody inspired me. I mean, I'm just paying it forward. Someone inspired me, Paul, to do what I'm doing here today. I'm not here because I love to do what I do because I'm seeing the impact it's having out there. But that was initially, I'm a very quiet, reserved. I don't want to be out there, do my thing. But God has called me to a different season. You talk about season in your show. This
Hmm.
is a new season for me, Paul. And I think that part of the greatness of us, part of our growth, if you will, is recognizing that our life has seasons,
That's right.
right? I mean, not just age-wise, but we're changing thought, we're changing what we do, we're changing how we show up. So God, Paul, has always been a part of my life. I mean, I'm
Amazing.
Christian, born Christian, but I think I'm seeing him even more now because I'm more aware. I'm more aware, Paul, because of my growth.
Excellent. So with that, we're going to again start to land the plane here. A lovely question that I like to ask. What are the few questions I like to ask? I want to get to my usual staple question of the show in
Okay,
just a minute.
okay.
But before we go there, tell us what's next, right? What's next for you, Paul? Personally, prophetically, entrepreneurially, what's next for you?
Great question, Paul. Great question again. Paul, I lead by the law. I follow what the Lord leads me to do. Right now, what the Lord has put in my heart is to serve. John and I have a commitment to serve and help through our Premier Coaching. We want to be able to serve 1 million people within the next 10 years so
Mm,
that they can want to be able to share a message of hope, a message of inspiration, a message of overcoming. We want to let folks know that they can be who they want to be, so they can do what they want to do, so they can have what they want to have. Paul, this world is about abundance. We live in an abundance universe. If we don't know that, how are we going to be able to take advantage of it? How are we going to take advantage? Think about it, Paul. All the humans in the world, do we ever run out of fish? You ever heard that? I never heard that. Do we run out of air? I never heard it. I mean, when you plant one seed of corn, you don't get just one out. You get
that's right.
bushels, don't you? We
Absolutely.
live in an abundant universe. And our message, our premier destiny is that there's greatness in each and every one of us. There's greatness in each and every one of us. Let's bring it out so that we can enjoy this universe and be a good force in life. Because
Mm,
for Paul, if you have more, you can do more. You can be more generous with your time. You can do more for other people.
hmm.
But if you don't have, you're
You
struggling to
can't do.
survive. Exactly. If you're struggling to survive, Paul, how can you help somebody else? I mean, we've heard this thing about charity begins at home, but I mean, hey, listen, if I'm still trying to take care of me, how am I going to be able to help you?
So
I can't. And that's what we're about a business. That's our charge. That's my mission. You know, listen, Paul, this coaching is not just a call. It's not just coaching for us. It's not just a career one. This to us is a calling.
mm,
To us is the ultimate calling. Because when you inspire somebody to be the best they can be,
hmm.
you've not just helped that person, you've helped generations after that person. And
Mm,
how many people is that person going to touch? It's immeasurable, right? Who they're going to touch out there. I mean, what you're doing, Paul,
mm,
you don't know the impact. You cannot count the impact
right.
you're going to have out there. As some preachers have said, you know, anybody can count a seed in an apple, but only God can count the apples in a seed.
Mm, I love it. I love it. So you know what that with that one, let's go ahead and bring it home for our listeners. Paula, I just want to thank you so much for
Thank you,
taking the
Paul.
time with us today. Again, I'm
Thank
looking
you, Paul.
forward to more great works from
Thank you,
you.
Paul.
I've
Thank you,
got a few
Paul.
questions, a few things that I'd like to end the show with. First and foremost, it's amazing to
Thank you,
have
Paul.
such a distinguished gentleman such as yourself
Thank you, Paul.
on our
Thank you,
show.
Paul.
And in my research, there were some things that I could find, and there were some things that I couldn't find.
Okay.
So, a question I like to ask our guests is one that is, to me, something
Yes.
that opens us up, something that connects us as a part of
Yes.
our story. And
Yes.
as I've come to learn, sometimes the answer to this question is no answer. And even
Okay.
that is a story. So it's a really straightforward,
Okay.
really simple question, Paul.
Okay.
And again, I'll talk about the context once you respond.
Okay.
Tell us, what's your middle name?
Oh, middle name is Nkeh. Nke. It's pronounced K. That's my middle name. Yeah.
Nkeh,
K-E-H, yes. Okay.
and it's pronounced Nke.
Okay. Yes.
I love it. Is there a story
Thank
behind
you.
that? What can you tell us about the origin of
No,
that?
it's actually it's my dad. It's my grandfather's name,
Okay.
and in African culture, we tend to name folks after parents or grandparents and things of that nature. So it is my grandfather's name. Yeah, that my dad decided to bestow upon me, and I'm grateful for it.
Excellent. 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 Well, I appreciate you sharing that with
Thank
us. And
you.
again,
Thank you.
reason why I bring that question up is because we're in business world, right? There's just
Absolutely.
that first and last name, right? First name,
Yes.
last name. Everything
Yes.
document, first name, last name. You might get a middle initial, but we
Yes.
typically only know the middle names of the
Uh,
people that are closest to us, our
Correct. Correct.
spouses, children, parents, and some
Correct.
best friends, maybe a good
Correct.
close cousin. But
Correct.
typically it's
Correct.
somewhere between 5 and 10. And I've been researching this for a while, and that's been holding up pretty true. So I use that
Wow.
question as a way to both connect personally, interpersonally, I
Yes.
should say. And as far
Yes.
as this show and this platform, it's a way for those listeners out there to really connect with you on a level that
Correct.
most people wouldn't be able to
Correct.
in just their
Correct.
usual exploration of your sites. So,
Correct.
with
Correct.
that, how can our listeners reach you? What's the best way for them to connect with you again on and offline?
Paul, it's easy. They can just go to Premier Destiny. In fact, I think I'll put you're probably gonna put our website in the show notes, I suppose,
Absolutely.
premierdestiny.com, and it's Premier with an E, or it's easy. Just go to Ask Joan and Paul. It's all together at www.askjoanandpaul.com. Like I told you, if if they go there, just sign up, they'll be able to get access to my wife's book, which I talked about, the international bestseller, Money Location. They'll get it for free. The ebook version, they'll get that free. And we have a bunch of affirmations in there that will help them rewire their mind for success, for prosperity, for abundance.
Excellent. Excellent. So for this last minute or two here, Paul, I don't necessarily want to prompt. I don't have a question per se. It's more or less an offering for you to simply share whatever's on your heart, whatever God's calling you to share, for about a minute or two. If you would just talk to the listeners and share a message with them.
Thank you, Paul. Uh, Thank you again for this wonderful opportunity to be on your platform. You're a blessing to all of us, and I don't take this lightly at all. So thank you for inviting me. Folks, I
Excellent.
believe there's greatness in you. Let's bring it out. We believe there's a more powerful version of you waiting to come out. It's in there. A version that's free of limitations, full of purpose, and ready to impact the world. At Premier Destiny, we help with home care owners and other business folks, professionals, and everyday visionaries harness their God-given gifts to be more, do more, and have more. This isn't just coaching for us, folks. It's not. It's a calling, and we're ready to walk with you. If you're ready to stretch your thinking, grow your impact, and live abundantly, let's start. Folks, you're one decision away from the life you truly want. If not now, when? If not you, who? No one's going to come to save you. You are going to do it. And we believe strongly that you're equipped to do it. But you need guidance. And we're there to help you. Folks, I encourage you to bet on yourself. It's the surest way to win and the biggest way to win if you bet on yourself. You can change and improve your situation. Let us help you make it happen. Folks, if John and I could do it, so can you. You're one decision away. Let's make it happen because there's greatness in you. Thank you, Paul.
Excellent. Excellent. And again, Paul, thank you so much for joining us on today. Listeners, this has been another episode of The Everyday Entrepreneur here on the Potpourri Place Podcast Show. Again, I'm your host, Paul Howard Flowers Jr. And again, I want to be thankful to each and every ear, heart, mind, soul that is hearing the sound of our voices, because again, you can spend your time doing anything else and you choose to spend it with us. So for that, we're grateful. We love you. We care for you. We appreciate you. And until next time, bye for now.
Bye for now. Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.